November 5th marked a very important day for fans of the show The End of the Effing World. On this fateful day, Netflix released all 8 episodes of the second season of this British TV show for fans everywhere to enjoy. And many of these fans, including myself, quickly rushed to binge watch the entire season as fast as humanly possible. And although I got into it very fast and just watched the whole thing in one night, I was very disappointed. It didn't live up to the hype that I had seen on social media at all. For one, I just think the plot was kind of pointless and really unnecessary. Season 2 basically follows the 2 main characters, James and Alyssa, but this time with the 3rd character. Her name is Bonnie, and she's actually very similar to James and Alyssa. She grew up in a very weird household and has a lot of emotional trauma. She actually is, I guess, the ex-girlfriend of Clive, the guy that James and Alyssa killed in the first season. So when she finds out that James and Alyssa have killed him, it's basically her goal to get revenge and kill them back. It's literally for 8 episodes, Bonnie, James, and Alyssa traveling around while the audience knows that Bonnie wants to kill them, but they don't know. And it's kind of so pointless. Like, there's no need to have that. The only episodes I really thought had any sort of plot to them at all were the first 3, and that's because they were like recap episodes of what happened between season 1 and season 2. And although I really liked seeing James and Alyssa separate and like doing their own thing, the way that the creators of the show executed it was just very frustrating. Literally for no reason, the creators made James and Alyssa heavily regress in these catching up episodes only for the purpose so that they could progress throughout the rest of the season. They made James and Alyssa try to be normal after the trauma that they just experienced from season 1. Obviously, killing a guy is very traumatic, and I understand the fact that James and Alyssa want to have normal lives afterwards, but the fact of the matter is, like, James and Alyssa, aren't normal. They're damaged youth, and that's not who they are. The creators, very purposely just did this because they wanted James and Alyssa to realize throughout this whole season that that's not who they are. Even though the whole first season, they explored this idea of, we're different and no one understands us, but at least we have each other and we can relate to each other. So the fact that they have completely ripped this whole idea apart just so they could bring it back together again is so utterly pointless. Their only reason in doing this was to reaffirm the fact that James and Alyssa are soulmates and that they love each other. However, that was perfectly seen in all of season 1. I really liked the ending of season 1, even if it was very ambiguous. I think it was the perfect culmination of James and Alyssa's journey and James and Alyssa's love for each other. Sometimes a purposefully ambiguous ending like the end of season 1 is more satisfying and what's actually needed than having another sequel for no reason other than to make fans happy.
I get that.
Of course, the second season wasn't entirely bad. There are 2 main things that I really liked about it. One being the cinematography. The thing that makes the show for me is how visually stunning it is. Each shot has so much purpose and it adds to the mood and it adds to each character in so many ways. I love how they utilize color and shape to add a lot of suspense and drama to the show. It's honestly the reason why I kept watching. I really just like to watch it to see how they portrayed each event. They did it in such a unique way and I cannot go on enough about how incredible it was. The second thing I liked was the acting. Jessica Barden and Alex Lothar were incredible in this season. The thing that I love about the way that they portray their characters is that they're weird, they're awkward, they're stiff, and they're very out of the box kind of characters. And I love that. I feel like most characters nowadays are super unrealistic, they're very perfect and very unattainable. And the thing about these characters is obviously they're supposed to be unrelatable and they're only supposed to be able to relate to each other. But the thing is that they're not fake characters, they're not perfect, and they're more relatable to the audience than I feel like most TV shows that have teenagers have nowadays. Those are basically my thoughts on season 2. I thought for what it was well done. However, it was just very unnecessary and sort of undid the perfection that was season 1. To quote a review article I saw in the Rolling Stone, it was a fitting end, a doomed love story, a perfect tragedy, and then it got renewed. Reporting for Scott Center News, I'm Ava Richards.